that when the kids were just about 6 months old, Diana had to come to go to Ghana to record some songs. So now I had twins who were 6 months old.
Oh
my wife had to travel. So what do I do? That is complicated, isn't it? So fortunately, around that time, I used to have a job that I had 12 weeks of annual leave.
Hello, thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe to our channel, click on the bell, like and comment. Thank you very much.
In the early stages of the ministry, I think one of the big problems was the fact that we lived in UK, and then some of the songs were predominantly Ghanaian based. So it's kind of trying to combine living here and getting an impact in Ghana. So that meant that Dan had to go to Ghana at certain points when I didn't really want to go. So we managed to balance that out. And then it brought some financial implications. So if Dana had to go to Ghana, we had to more or less fund the journey. So it took a bit of our money. But the point is that between the two of us, we don't have this one's money and that one's money. I mean, everybody has the way their marriages work. But to us, our money is our money. Everybody can take anybody's money. And everything that is ours, apart from the many clothes that someone has. The rest is all ours. Yeah, so there's funding the project. That was one of the issues there, but we managed to work through it. It was difficult, but we managed to kind of find a way to navigate through that. The next thing was combining work. So Diana was a nurse. I think when I first came to UK, I was working, I actually did Sainsbury's then. I used to work in a shop and I was preparing for my license exams at the same time. So this is a message to all the guys. So sometimes it may seem as if I was a house officer. I had my plan. I was going to go to a district, do public health, and going to help politics and end up a politician someday. Now I'm married, so I had to actually kind of compromise and change my plans to come to UK to start all over again. So that was some of the problems. We managed to sail through that. I got my first job as a doctor. She was working as a nurse. In the early parts, I used to work far away from home, about, let's say, 3 hours from London. Those who live in UK, I used to work in Stoke-on-Trent. So I would go, and when I'm off, I'll come back. That was, I think, difficult because that was the very early part of our marriage. And then sometimes when I need to come back, my wife had to go and sing somewhere. We had to drive there. It was a bit of a juggle, but we managed to sail through that. Then we had the kids coming the way. That made it more complicated. So an extra layer of complication came on. I think when we had the kids, just around that time, then we had a new management approaching us to say, we're based in UK, we want to help this ministry because we think that it's come to a point that it needs to move to another level. So we had the negotiations and they're like, we have to have an album, we have to have a product. And that meant that when the kids were just about 6 months old, Diana had to come to go to Ghana to record some songs. So now I had twins who were 6 months old.
Oh
my wife had to travel. So what do I do? That is complicated, isn't it? So fortunately, around that time, I used to have a job that I had 12 weeks of annual leave a year. So that was the most generous annual leave I had. So I took some to enable her to travel to Ghana and do the recording. I think that is it the Blessings album?
Blessing album.
Yeah, NCUE. No, NCUE isn't wow, that album. So that was that time. So we just go through. So I had to look after the kids. And I had Eunice Edupoku. I think she's on. Yeah. She'll come and visit me. She'll come and stay by me almost the whole day with the kids. But by God's grace, yes, we pulled through it. And that meant that our kids have had a very complicated regime. So they will eat at the same time, they will sleep at the same time. It meant that we had to structure their lives because we knew that if we pampered them, then it's going to be complicated for us. So, I mean, thinking about all those things, you think that God was preparing something, and sometimes if God is preparing something more complicated, He may take a longer time to deliver that. So
that's right.
That's why Jesus will say, "I'm going to prepare a place for you in 2,000 years. We are still here." It means that whatever He's preparing is special. So by God's grace, we had the kids. It brought us challenges, but we sailed through that. Yeah, it brought a lot of blessings. To be fair, when we delivered, we never bought nappies.
We never bought diapers.
That's one example.
Oh, wow.
Our house was so flooded that we actually gave some out. We gave some to other people because we had so much of it that we didn't buy a single one of that. And then people gave us presents. It was something else. I'm glad that Diana's dad saw the twins. My mom saw them, held them. My dad did. So it is just glorious that God brought that thing before the passing on of my parents and Diana's dad. I think one of the challenges that we had in ministry was losing a band.
Oh yeah.
I'll maybe make a quick reference to it, and maybe
I can talk about it.
So we had this concept. You remember I was saying that Diana had to go to Ghana to do some recording. When she came back, we had to organize this concert. I think we brought Ohima Mercy from Ghana. There was a lot of other people singing. We had the band rehearsal, I think on a Friday night. And the following morning, the drummer apparently had traveled to Norway.
What?
And his reason was that a particular musician had told him that, if you don't come for this concert of mine, don't come to my funeral when I die. So our drummer had traveled. We didn't know about it till the concert time. Then suddenly we had a new drummer, a very good drummer. May his soul rest in peace. He died, but he was a very good drummer, but he hadn't rehearsed. So the thing was that he wasn't playing properly. So the video of that concert never came out. We couldn't present it to the world. And then me, my mouth, I went to talk about this one. And I don't talk a lot, but if
I stop for a minute? Okay, can I just stop him? So you see my husband sitting next to me. Okay, this is one of the reasons I know how much he loves me. You know, Joseph will not talk much, but she cannot touch me. Like when you hear him speaking, when you hear him fighting, then it means somebody has touched me. It's a no-brainer. Like he doesn't even think of his environment. I'll give you examples. So this particular one, like he said, it was my first big event. We had done album launches, but this was when God was kind of moving us from just Ghana to the other nationalities in the UK. And we were hoping at that particular time, 1615 Media had just signed me on to manage me. And they said you could do this. And so we spoke to this band and we had agreed. They took our money. Now this drummer was the leader of the band. And the event was on a Saturday. On Friday, he took part payment of that money. He took part payment on Friday. And on Saturday, I remember Sonny Bado was the MC. I went in and my changing room, Sonny came and said, I have news for you. One is good, one is bad. I said, hit me with the good one, the bad one, and then the bad. The good. The bad was the drummer is gone. The good is we have an alternative. Well, the alternative was a better one, but he hadn't rehearsed with us. And so the whole time of the concert, his back was to the crowd. The guitarist's back was to the crowd because he was kind of talking him through. There's a punch here, there's a break there, stop here, fast one. So when we were done, that event you haven't seen a video of it because it wasn't good.
Somebody say, I know the band and the drama. No mention of name.
Daniel Jackson.
That's it, be careful.
Anyway, so when we finished, Joseph was so crossed and he said, this band is not playing for Diana again. And I think someone standing somewhere heard it and went to tell the band. The band got crossed with us that we were angry that they had disappointed us.
Really?
Yeah.
So
and at that time I was called Papa No.
So this band said, at this point, they said they were the best band in Ghana, in the UK. So they said, if he says he won't let us play, they will get to know who will play for them. I'm telling you how my husband will stand for me throughout these things. So our next event, it wasn't my event. Someone had invited me, and this band was the house band. They were the carpet band for that event. This was about 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So when I was called, we asked the person running the event, we said, are you sure this band will play? Well, we've spoken to them, they'll play. Anyway, for your information, whilst I was mounting the stage, the band was descending.
They walked off, yeah.
They walked off the stage because they were proving a point that they were the band of the nation. And we are saying, won't let them play for us again. So whilst I was mounting the stage, they were descending. God bless my husband and my management team. Quickly, I had the chance, because I'm a talker, I was able to talk my way whilst they sought out some soundtracks, and I was able to minister. Those that were there on the night did not know that my band had walked off on me. But guys, when God is about to move you into another direction, there's always a drama attached to it. When he says he will lay a table before you, there has to be the crowd that is waiting to see your downfall, and then it will turn into that table. It was like that. Because it was after this that the first experience in the UK, the first ever experience of Diana Hamilton happened here in the UK with a new set of band that were happy to be with us, much more willing to work with us, excited to work with us. And I listen, this is how God started with us. People would say, you came from nowhere, but we had done Ostrobekasa, and these are the challenges we had. We had done Ostrobekasa, we had done in Siuye, we had done blessings, which is Onyamia Mane Woman, but it still wasn't, when we went to Ghana, Ghanaians thought, oh, you don't live here. This was their chorus. You don't live here, because you don't live in Ghana, we can't get the gigs for you. People could not fly us in, or we were not at the time when we were ready to be flown in on somebody's tickets. So whenever we went to Ghana, we went on our own tickets. And to be fair, just a little comment. I remember there were times when they would invite you. I remember we went to Germany, and they said, "Oh, we paid the tickets, everything," and then we bought the ticket and went. They brought us to the airport and said, "God bless you." And then we boarded our flight, came back to the UK, and that was it. They didn't even check whether we had arrived or not. So these are some of the challenges that and it's a big church. It's not like a tiny church. So these are some of the challenges that we went through. But by God's grace, yes, we've come this far. Talking of, I remember one time there was another meeting that some people said something about me that I didn't even come to tell my husband. And then when things escalated, I spoke to him about it, that this person made this comment. Oh, my husband picked up a phone, called the person and said, you cannot say that about my wife's ministry. You cannot predict her future in such a negative way. Retract your statement. Retract your statement. I was like,
that was the man right there. That's the man. Amen. That's right.
God bless you. God bless you. You tell them.
Papa, no.
When I say he will stand for me, like he will go. I think people see. When I went to KJTIA last year to give out some drinks, and this was Dr. Hamilton in a blue t-shirt with experience written in front, walking through KJTIA with me, distributing. Did he have to be there? No, but he made a promise, and I can tell that he has stuck to that promise, and he's with me throughout the journey.
Okay. Yeah, I think that actually captures the challenges. But I think, and then to me, probably it's difficult for me to answer as how I propel Diana is because I think it comes to me naturally. So I come from a fairly humble background. So my parents were civil. My dad was a civil servant. My mom never had any formal education per se. But for some reason, she was interested in education. And I think I take a lot of praise from my mom. So if Diana says I'll stand for her, actually, that's a trait of my mom. And when I'm in that mood, I tell myself, Regina, Fukuima, Eba. So I kind of... My mom is a quiet person, but you dare not touch her, you dare not touch her children. So that is part of me. And I think that has put me in a position that if I have to support Diana's ministry, I go all out. And that means that I've had strong conversations with pastors of our church about the way Diana is treated. I've gone to I remember there was a particular pastor who told me to leave his office in the name of God because I questioned an issue about him charging us to use a church auditorium, and then he just walked me out of his office. But the lesson there to me is that when God is closing one door, he's opening another. And that would explain why God would say, you have dwelled here too long, so break camp and advance. So at that point now, I see that as God telling us, look, you've been in this auditorium for too long, break camp and move on. So sometimes listening to God's voice about it, God may not bring you a prophet or somebody, but as who would say, Noel Jones would say, it was God when your mama said, when the boy said, be careful with me, be very careful with me. It was God really telling you that if you don't move away from this boy, he's going to beat you one day. So God has different ways of communicating to us. And I think that's the bulk of what I have to say about the fact that, we pray about it, we wait on God, and then we have to make bold decisions, intentionally deciding that this is what I really want to do. It is a choice I could decide, okay, I don't want to have anything to do with the music. I'm going to do my doctrine job. That's it. I'm not going to do anything. But something simple as if Diana is traveling out of the country and I'm not working, I'll pick her from the airport. I'll take her to the airport. I'll bring her back. If I'm working, then it has to be a taxi journey. So we agree that things have to be done so that everybody can pursue their dream and their vision, as well as working together to push each other to a higher level. Yeah, I think, yeah.
So I say this all the time that, okay, so whilst we're doing this, I know when the questions start coming in, I might forget. And my husband doesn't like this, so I'm not good at giving him fans. Because when we first got married, I'll flow him fans in public and he go, I don't know, and so these days I'm losing that trait. But I want to pause here for a minute and just appreciate you. Seriously, like appreciate my husband. Listen, if there's anything he cannot do in this house, the only thing he cannot do in this house is braid Michaela's hair. Even that one, he tried at one point, and Michaela, when I came back, Michaela said, "Mommy, Daddy messed up my hair." And that was when he didn't touch it again.
Like you're going to have your messy hair.
That's when he decided not to touch it again, because he will shave Michael's hair. He does everything. He does when I say he does everything, he was the first to change the diapers of the kids at the hospital before I even ever did that. At the hospital, he did that. And let's just move it. When you say he creates an environment for me to go, I literally, I was just saying that one of my friends who helps with the kids, when I'm gone, called and said, "Oh, in February at Experience, I'm going to Ghana with you." I just jumped. Yeah, we're going to Ghana, before I realized that she's actually the one that comes home to help when Joseph has to go to work. I don't think about what's happening at home. All I do is make sure food is at home. Even that, when they run out, I'm not worried. If I have to go and my stay is extended, I am not worried, because the house is safe. The kids are fine. I remember one time we came to US, and this was the early stages. We had done Ostrobekas and I didn't see me. It's not now that you come to US and somebody's putting you in a hotel and there's a chauffeur-driven car coming for you. Listen, we've been through the journey. At one time, we had to go to New York on our own from Springfield. My whole family was working. We boarded a bus. They did one of these Ford buses.
Greyhound.
No, we did Greyhound coming back.
Oh, really?
But we went on one of these Ford buses that came to pick us at our door.
Door to door.
Door to door.
Delivered.
We went to New York, didn't know who we were going to, and we did those rounds. Then another time, Adelaide and Kweku drove us to New York. And when we got to New York, we're moving from church to church. You know, we go and beg a pastor. We've been there, done that. You go and beg a pastor, can we sing in your church and sell a few CDs? And Dr. Hamilton was with me. Listen, I'm not saying Joseph Hamilton of medical school. I was saying Dr. Hamilton, the GP, was with me, begging the pastors to give us their platform. So we sing on it. Some of them will say, you have to wait. Some of them will say, we are very busy today. And sometimes we got to the church and they are closing. We need to sell CDs. And Dr. Hamilton is holding the CD, selling, giving out change.
Snap of that.
And I remember Adelaide's husband saying, Adelaide, and then Dr. Hamilton here, meaning to me, you. Listen, my sister Adelaide sings beautifully, has a great voice.
That's right.
Just like me, if not more. But listen, not everybody is cut for this job, this thing. And let me just sound us here that if we're saying this, don't be too hard on your husband, because my husband is a rare gem. You don't get it. This is not normal. I have to say that this is not normal. But if you're a man here, all we ask is try your best and be there for your wife. And if you're a woman here, try your best to be there for your husband. But Adelaide called me and said, Auntie, I don't know who cannot do it. And that's why Adelaide will write Adom for me and I'll go and sing. And I'm here as the person with Adom. She could have done it. Has she got the right man to do it? No.
Be careful about how you talk about Kweku here.
Kweku knows. Kweku knows that he's a perfect husband.
Kweku is fantastic.
That's right.
What Joseph does, Kweku might not be able to do that. Okay, so don't be too hard on your husband. So, babes, if I don't say it again, I think I'll find time and thank you. Like proper thank you.
Oh, that's sweet.
No, so I think that's one of our differences. Yeah.